try to hate me. I'll pack my bag and a light for light. I'll arrive home late tonight, Blackbird. Blackbird, bye-bye. Try to hate me. I'll pack my bag and light the light. I'll have home late tonight, Blackbird. Blackbird. Oh, Blackbird, 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 Blackbird. Oh, Blackbird, Blackbird. Bye-bye.
respectfully ask everyone, if you have a device, please turn it to vibrate or mute.
All right. Yeah, I know that. All right, have a good day.
Thank you.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. But by the content of their character. I have a dream today. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. Let freedom reign, and when this happens, when we allow freedom reign, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Good afternoon, and welcome to today's event, which is a manifestation of Essex County Executive DiVincenzo's commitment to recognize and honor individuals who have worked to uplift the condition of their fellow man and to educate the next generation of their accomplishments. Today's event is truly historic and precedent-setting. Today, the County of Essex is making history as we unveil and dedicate New Jersey's only full statue of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. His own major for justice, who was also called the moral leader of our nation. This honor is long overdue, and we are pleased to be the very first to bestow this recognition on Dr. King. It is our belief that this full-size monument is the very first of its kind in the Northeast, with the exception of Washington, D.C. As many of you know, the significance of this date is that Dr. King was named the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize some 51 years ago on October 14, 1964. Thank you for sharing this moment in history with us. Now I would ask all of you to stand for the presentation of colors, followed by our national anthem. Lift every voice and sing an invocation. Thank you. dedication, we have Reverend Ron Christian of Christian Love Baptist Church.
Reverend clergy, county exec, dignitaries, those gathered, let us pray. God, we thank you for your goodness. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your loving kindnesses that endures from generation to generation. As we come to both dedicate and celebrate the life, the love, and the legacy of this awesome man of God. We thank you, God, that he was just not a civil rights leader, though he was a great one, but he also was a human rights leader, one that represented people of different creeds, different backgrounds, different religions, and different faiths, whether black or white or Hispanic, whether Asian, whether gay or straight. He continually spoke words that an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. So God, as we dedicate this particular statue in this particular hallowed place, we thank you for the minds that have thought it. We thank you for the funds that have built it. We thank you that the hands that have worked on it. We thank you for those that will view it and be served by it. And we thank you that our children's children will be able to look up and truly capture the American dream. Life, love, liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. May God bless this place, and may God bless America. Amen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I can't express how honored I am to have a small part in this program. My name is Philip Elijah. I am the Chief of Staff for Joe DiVincenzo in the County of Essex. And not often in life do you get to introduce and bring up a legend, an icon. But it is my distinct honor to bring up today's first speaker. I'm going to read a little bit of her bio. Miss Edith Johnson Savage Jennings, a pioneer in the civil rights movement. Edith Johnson Savage Jennings. In 1957, the late Reverend S. Howard Woodson, pastor at Shiloh Baptist Church in Trenton, asked her to chair a major civil rights rally where the Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was invited to speak. From then on, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King worked closely together with Miss Savage Jennings, who became a close and personal family friend and advisor. In 1986, she lobbied with former New Jersey Governor Kane to create the first Martin Luther King Commission in the United States of America. And she went on to make sure that New Jersey was among the first states to observe a Martin Luther King holiday. In 2009, Ms. Savage Jennings was inducted into the National Civil Rights Museum at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis. And in February 2013, President Barack Obama honored Ms. Savage Jennings at the White House on the occasion of the unveiling of her friend Rosa Parks' memorial sculpture. There are not many people who can say that they were friends with Rosa Parks, Coretta Scott King, and Martin Luther King Jr., a true icon, a legend. Let's hear it for Miss Edith Johnson Savage Jennings. Come on, let's hear it out there. Be louder than that.
Well, what a beautiful day. The sun is shining for Martin Luther King Jr. You know, this is my 25th dedication of either a school for Dr. King or either what you see here, a bust or whatever. And so when the children called me and asked me, would I do this for them? I said, this is all the time. Don't you know your aunt is getting old? And I can't do what I used to do. They said, no, we want you to do this. Because New Jersey was the first state that did the financing for Dad's organization. And because of you, I said, you tell me a story all the time when you want me to do something. But what I want to talk about today is it's going to be short. That to have known Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was more than a privilege. He became my brother. He became my friend. He became my advisor. He became my leader. But what I want to really tell you about Dr. King is that his vision for this country, if you'd have heard him at a meeting he called us into in Atlanta, it was the last speech that he made, those of us who worked with him. America would have been a much better America if that speech could have never been recorded. I just remember it in my heart. But when you sang our anthem, I thought about, that was my cousin who wrote that anthem, James Weldon Johnson. And I kept saying, you know, he was sort of the same person that Martin was. He had so much hopes for us and America. But I want to tell you that Dr. King, he would really be happy if he knew the statue was being unveiled in the state of New Jersey. So I'm saying to you on behalf of Martin Luther King III, Bernice King, and Dexter King, that they're delighted that you did this in honor of their father. I'm delighted. I was adopted into the King family in 1967, and I was ready to faint. Daddy King grew in church, and he said, I want my northern daughter to stand up. And I stood up, and I said, what Dad King wants? He says, I want you to know that this is our daughter. We have adopted her into the King family. So I guess that's why I had to do all the work. But I still want to say to all of the honorees that come out, and I call you that because you're elected officials, and you have to be good people to be elected in the state of New Jersey. So to the children, oh, what a pleasure. He loved children, loved them with a passion. I remember when he would come home, I always stayed with him when I went to Atlanta. When he would come home, he would put Bernice up on the refrigerator, let her jump in his arms. And I said, okay, one day Bernice is gonna fall on the floor. But Bernice said, no, I'm gonna go in Daddy's arms. So, but I just want you to know he was a real human being. And when he got the Nobel Peace Prize, I said to him, what are you gonna do with the money? Give it to the movement. I said, okay. I said, I know. I said, but you can use it. He said, no, I'm giving it to the movement because they need it. So to all of you that come out this afternoon to witness this, I want to say thank you on behalf of the King family and myself. God bless you all.
I would like to recognize Mr. Ansley A. Reynolds, who's here. I believe, Ansley, if you can wave, the president of the New Jersey Association of Alpha Phi Alpha Chapters, District 4 Director, Eastern Region of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Inc., and other representatives he has with him today from the fraternity who are joining us to honor Dr. King, who is a member of that fraternity. Thank you and welcome. I'm going to call up the next four speakers right now, and I'd like to ask them to come up after the other one speaks. First, we're going to hear from the president of the Essex County Freeholder Board, Brittany Timberlake, followed by our Essex County Democratic Chairman, Leroy Jones, followed by the great Sheriff of Essex County, Armando Fontoura, followed by New Jersey Assemblywoman Grace Spencer.
Thank you. And Ms. Edith, that was absolutely beautiful. What an honor it is to be in your presence. And I'd like for us to give you another hand clap. My name is Brittany Timberlake. I'm the president of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders. And what a beautiful historical day. Thank you, Mr. Executive, for your vision for this complex, from Rosa Parks to a Dr. King statue. Thank you for respecting the struggle as well as the triumph of a people in which I myself derive from. As we gather here today to pay tribute to a great man in history, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I'm joined here today by my freeholder colleagues, and I'm going to ask them to please stand. I see Patricia Siebold is here, freeholder Rolando Bobadilla, $3 billion a year. And I say to you today that if our nation can spend $35 billion a year to fight an unjust, evil war in Vietnam and $20 billion to put a man on the moon, it can spend billions of dollars to put God's children on their own 2 feet right here on earth. In a speech titled, Remaining Awake Through a Great Revolution, less than a week before he was assassinated, Dr. King said, "There is another thing closely related to racism that I would like to mention as another challenge. We are challenged to rid our nation and the world of poverty. Like a monstrous octopus, poverty spreads its nagging, prehensile tentacles into the hamlets and villages of our world. 2/3 of the people of the world go to bed hungry tonight." Dr. King said, "We read one day that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that all are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man does not have a job or an income, he neither has life nor liberty, nor the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists." One day, we will have to stand before God of history, and we will talk in terms of things we've done. Yes, we will be able to say we built gargantuan bridges that span the seas. We built gigantic buildings that kiss the skies. Yes, we made our submarines penetrate oceanic depths. We brought into being many other things with our scientific and technological power. It seems as though I can hear the God of history saying, "That was not enough. But I was hungry and you fed me not. I was naked and you clothed me not. I was devoid of decent sanitary housing to live in, and you provided no shelter for me. And consequently, you cannot enter the kingdom of greatness." Dr. King said, "This is America's opportunity to help bridge the gulf between the haves and the have-nots. The question is whether or not America will do it. There is nothing new about poverty. What is new is that we now have the techniques and resources to get rid of poverty. The real question is whether or not we have the will." Ladies and gentlemen, I chose these words from Dr. King to read to show us all that the best way we can honor Dr. King is by continuing his work. This is why, Mr. Executive, and all that are gathered today, for my swearing in as president, I've been very clear about the direction of this Freeholder Board, and I want to report that together with the administration, we are succeeding. Our 2015 Freeholder accomplishments to date include creating a Citizen Immigration Services Committee to better welcome those from other nations that are joining our community. We've ensured more low to moderate income people can qualify for down payment assistance and become homeowners. It was a freeholder initiative as we advocated for the Sheriff's Department to obtain body cameras for officers, and that body camera pilot was launched in August 2015. This month, we will be passing an ordinance that requires any bank we hold your taxpayer dollars with to explain their Community Reinvestment Act report with the County of Essex, to show proof of their efforts to reduce foreclosures, provide loans to entrepreneurs, assist low to moderate income communities, and maintain vacant homes that they own. We held the first roundtable with banks to brainstorm about how they could better serve the community by way of investing in small businesses, which will foster expansion and therefore provide more jobs. We passed a resolution committed to reducing the county's carbon footprint over the next 5 years. And yes, we were the first in the state to pass a resolution urging the state to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Next year and the year after that, we'll be highly focused on job creation while working with the legislative and the administration, working toward the vision of Dr. King. So I just want to say, thank God for giving us Dr. King, and God bless you all.
There goes my 2 minutes. Giving honor to God and to all that has come far and wide to recognize the unveiling of the likeness of our Prince of Peace, our drum major for justice. And that has been the vision of our county executive, Joe DiVincenzo, who often talks about, the strength of our diversity. And Dr. King often talked about how that diversity was embraced in the different communities and colors of our country. But most importantly, what moved our country was the character of all those individuals. Today is a historic day in Essex County, and I am so glad to be a part of this wonderful day that the Lord has made as we unveil the likeness of our hero. And we unveil the likeness of our hero to generations of youngsters who haven't even had the opportunity but to see Dr. King in videos and pictures and photos and on this likeness. And today is our day to say to you that that mantle of leadership, that vision that Dr. King stood for, whether it was marching for justice, marching for access to vote, or marching for economic equality. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a day that we should cherish. Today is a day that sets forth the likeness of our hero in this canvas of justice in the county of Essex under the leadership of Joe DiVincenzo and the Essex County Board of Freeholders. God bless you all, and God bless the generations that come after us. Thank you so much.
March 27th, 1968. Very important day in the city of Newark. Celebrating my 1-year anniversary of being sworn into the Newark Police Department. Newark Police Department was a much different police department than it is today. We had a special guest who was going to be visiting Southside High School. Shabazz High School now. And I can tell you that, shamefully, most of my colleagues were not fond or enthusiastic about the work of Dr. King. That has changed significantly, obviously, but in those days, that happened to be the case. I had the pleasure of working with a young man who became my partner, an associate for a long, long time, by the name of James Dubose. James Dubose was very close to the King family. Ms. Savage might remember that. After Martin's death, Coretta Scott King took over the work, along with the family. She would never, ever leave Atlanta or anywhere else and come to the East Coast, New York or New Jersey, unless she called Jim Dubose first. He was a confidant, he was a personal protector. He drove her everywhere. And when he came to us in the Sheriff's Department, Joe, whatever he needed, we provided for him, supplied. So our appreciation about Dr. King's work and his legacy grew and grew and grew. Where today, all of our officers, Dr. Howard, with your help, they may not be good at pulling the wheelchair without the degree. We appreciate your help. But I can assure you that they are very good and dedicated to keeping the people of this county as safe as we possibly can be. And I assure all of you that this facility, this street, and Dr. King is in the safest place that he can be in the state of New Jersey. We'll make sure of that. Congratulations, Joe. Thank you very much.
First, thank you, County Executive DiVincenzo, for allowing me to be a part of the program. I'm Grace Spencer, and I'm a member of the General Assembly, and I represent the 29th Legislative District, which is where we are today. And my colleague, Ileana Pintor-Marin, is here. My senator is Teresa Ruiz. So on January 19th, 2015 of this year, I was carrying my child, Willow, and I was sitting watching the different shows that were coming on about the King holiday. And just watching everything, the piece about how he was in the colonies and in Newark, looking out over Branchbrook Park, reflecting on what he had done in Newark, March 27, 1968. My child was due on March 27th. And I thought about, what would I do with little Willow on March 27th? As she grew up in this town, and Newark has such a magnitude of history, what would I be doing with my child on March 27th? Of course, I said, we're going to talk about Dr. King. And I said, well, where are we going to go? And I'm thinking, where am I going to take my child when we celebrate Dr. King's holiday, when we celebrate her birthday? And I thought about and the only thing I could think of, all right, there's a bust downstairs in City Hall. So I called my friend Phil Elijah, started asking some questions. Little did I know that the county exec was watching the same show.